Once a boxing champion, now all set to defend his motherland alongside his brother, former boxer from Ukraine, Wladimir Klitschko, exclusively speaks to India Today. Foreign Affairs editor Geeta Mohan with this interview. Listen in.
Negotiations underway, talks are on, but the advancement of the Russian forces continues, Russian aggression continues, and the encirclement of Kyiv is almost nearing a pace where they could enter any time. What's the ground situation?
Whatever Russia is claiming, for instance, Foreign Minister Lavrov at the first meeting with the Ukrainians publicly said that Russia is not interested of attacking any country and never attacked Ukraine. That was a lie. Russia is saying that they're fighting against Nazis. We have president of the country with Jewish roots. So it's a lie. They're trying to say that they're saving the Russian world in Ukraine. There are Ukrainians with Russian roots. Half of my blood is Russian. And we're not welcoming any army, any military boots and equipment on our soil. Our sovereignty and sovereignty of our borders and international law has been broken by Russia. And that's why Russian propaganda is confirming and saying that Ukraine is just the beginning. So there are other countries as well as in danger as Ukraine. And that only military objects are going to be attacked, it's another lie. As propaganda is lie, because Kharkiv, districts of city of Kharkiv, been destroyed by cluster bombing. People, the residents were killed. Cities that are satellite cities of the capital of Ukraine, as Bucha, Gostomel, Fastiv, are in ash. Civilians were killed, cities destroyed, infrastructure is destroyed. Mariupol in the south of the country, just yesterday, were up to 1,000 innocent men, women, and elderly and children were hiding at the theater. The theater was bombed precisely by Russian Air Force, bombed. Thankfully, that there was shelter in the ground, underground of the building, and people are getting digged out now. So it seems like they are alive, but that has nothing to do. A theater in city of Mariupol, which has been destroyed 90% now. So whatever is coming out of Russia is a complete lie.
So we've seen that Russia has chosen its battleground as Ukraine. It's not the border. So what's the strategic and military plan, if any, to fight Russia?
We will take care of ourselves. We need military aid and equipment to defend ourselves. Ukraine is the most peaceful nation in all the years. We never attacked anyone, and we will defend ourselves. We need military aid. We will take care of ourselves. And what our partners and allies, and this is most of the world, needs to sanction Russia, isolate economically Russia, because every cent that Russia is getting are used to buy more weapons, more rockets, more bullets to kill us Ukrainians. And I'm afraid to say we are not just one nation that are going to be destroyed like we are now. There are going to be other countries if this war is not going to be stopped.
The International Court of Justice has given its order, and the order is very clear that Russia should stop and suspend its military operations. It should stop supporting armed outfits. But has there been any real headway?
While we're speaking, there are fights going on. There is nothing that now is going towards the peace in the country. Russian boots, military equipment, soldiers must leave Ukrainian soil, must leave and stop this war now. We will lose more life. This event that is happening now is going to lead to a humanitarian catastrophic event. There are going to be consequences, no matter what. There are going to be consequences for this reckless, senseless war and start of it. And eventually, as we know, all the wars eventually will come to an end. This end must come sooner than later. And only with the international community we can stop Russian aggression, and better to stop it as soon as possible.
Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in an interview said that the two sides are approaching an agreement to a neutral state as that of Austria and Sweden. Would that really be acceptable to Kyiv? And if it is acceptable, how does it work?
I don't have political office behind me, and I'm not representing any. I'm not a politician even. Yes, my brother is mayor of city of Kyiv and the capital. Whatever decision is going to be made, that's going to be afterwards. But this war must be stopped now. And then everything else is coming up to a conclusion. But now, one more time, while we're speaking, there are getting human lives lost. That must be stopped now. This war must stop now. Russian army must go home and leave Ukrainian soil.
The bigger question over here also, Amir, is that while the Ukrainian side has been seeking a no-fly zone over Ukraine, NATO has not paid heed to President Zelensky's calls. Has NATO been a letdown? Has NATO let Ukraine down?
There is no fly zone yet. And we know what? We're going to take care of ourselves and going to make our own no-fly zone. We just need in this case, our allies, military equipment. We're going to take care of ourselves and going to take care of our sky and going to take care of everything that we have in the country. We have enough manpower. We can do it. What we need is the equipment. What we need, humanitarian help, military equipment in this case, and we need humanitarian help because we are getting close to complete destruction and an event that is not going to be good for all the civilians in the country. And this is going to be very dangerous for the rest of the world. We need to stop this war now.
Would you call it a strategic miscalculation to go ahead and take on Russia without absolute assurance of military intervention by the West? Or was the assurance not really lived up to by the West? What's the true story here?
It's not just the West. It's just a complete mistake. What Russia has started, this war, and Russia is lying to its own people in Russia. Soldiers that has been captured don't know why even they need this war. There are no nationalist Nazis in this country. We are a progressive country. We are a free country. We are a country that has been developed since the Soviet Union broke apart, but only imperialistic ambitions made this one madman in Moscow attack Ukraine and start this senseless war. There is no miscalculation. It's just madness. Madness to start it. And the consequence is going to be severe for all the parties involved, including mostly Russia.
Is this a betrayal by NATO, particularly the United States of America, for not really intervening militarily, even if that means escalation, while they see and are silent spectators and Ukrainians are dying at the hands of Russians?
Listen, there is international law. There is NATO. Ukraine was not NATO. NATO cannot get on the Ukrainian soil. There is a law that has been broken. International law has been broken. I repeat it one more time. After Second World War and after Ukraine gave up nukes, nuclear weapons, for sovereignty of our borders, we gave up nuclear weapons for sovereignty of our borders. We did it. We signed the contract, including Russia and other countries. This law, international law, broke by the attack of Russian army, the Ukrainian. And this is going to have consequences, and it will happen. But first and mostly important, we're not going to get into further discussion with NATO and everything else. We need to stop. We must stop this war. I'm saying the world must watching what is happening now and actively, not passively watching, but actively stopping and helping us to stop the Russian army, stop the invasion, and get the heck out of our land.
Russia has destroyed all key military infrastructure as also many civilian infrastructure, ports, airfields, airports, all gone. In your estimation, what is the loss and the damage that Ukraine has suffered so far?
Hey, listen, there's everything going to be rebuilt, everything. What we cannot get back is the lost life. There are civilians, and I say it and stress it out one more time, civilians, children are getting killed by the Russian army. Children, innocent men, women, and elderly. That is not a threat to anyone in this world, getting killed, brutally killed, decapitated, lost their limbs, lost their life. Is it not enough to act together and stop this senseless war? What else must happen? We have nuclear power plants in Ukraine. There are 4 of them with even more and multiple reactors. And one of them, due to Russian aggression, was on fire a couple of days ago. We are talking if any of the rockets that already landed, 1,000 or more than 1,000 rockets, Russian rockets landed on Ukrainian soil, and one of them started the fire on a nuclear power plant. If nuclear power plants gonna explode, and they're big, it's gonna be Fukushima and Chernobyl combined in multiple times. It's going to be disaster. How long this world is going to watch and not stop Russia? 21 days we've been fighting back this Russian aggression. How long we have to wait until the disaster will happen in this world? And it will, if it's not be stopped. It will, I assure you, it will. With the stupidity of the Russian army that is shooting and killing our men, infrastructure, and as I said, nuclear power plants, and we have left plenty of them in Ukraine with the reactors, cannot be a human mistake, or it could be a human mistake, and it's going to be disaster.
Another question going back to NATO. Now, NATO is not happening, and President Zelensky said that Ukraine and the people of Ukraine now should realize that. But the European Union is expediting its process. If and should Ukraine become a member of the European Union, what difference will it make? And how will things and facts change on the ground vis-a-vis Russia?
We are in the heart of Europe. Eventually we will be in the EU. I'm not going to discuss NATO right now. We are not in NATO, and this is matter of fact. We are defending ourselves pretty damn well without NATO, but we need support. We need support so less civilians, less people are going to be dead. This war we didn't start. This is occupation of the other country by Russia. That must be stopped. Russians must go home.
What, according to you, sir, does Russia want? Does it want to annex Ukraine, or does it want a regime change, that President Zelensky's government should be toppled? What's the end game for President Putin?
Russia wants to go back to USSR and make Ukrainian be part of it, as Belarus is. I guess, that's what the imperialism is doing. That's what it is. And one more time, whatever Russia wants, listen, Russia and Russians, there's like different stories, because the propaganda that is going on in Russia is accusing Ukraine of being bad, nationalistic and fascists and Nazis and whatever they're saying. A complete nonsense, complete lie. It doesn't exist. They thought that Ukraine will cheer up when the Russian army is coming. Instead of cheering up, we're saying, screw you off. Go home. We don't want you here.
Thank you so much for joining us here on India Today. Indeed a pleasure, sir. Stay safe and hope Ukraine continues the big fight that it is fighting against a superpower such as Russia.